Charlie, the Exterior Radar here, and I have something new for us today. Now, I normally call story time being the time I read fics or whatever you guys want me to read. Like, you guys can list things off if you want me to. Hell, I'd read chapters from stories if they'd allow me to. But one thing that I always wanted to do, considering in order to get to know like the commentator better, is share stories from my life. Like, no, not depressing stories. I've done that before with rants and shit like that, and I can tell you that that's basically hardly ever gonna happen anymore. Now, this particular thing is gonna be, I don't know, recounted as IRL story time or something like that. If you want me to call it something different, just let me know. Or put down in suggestions what this type of thing should be called. So, along with rants and discussions, which are basically just updates, my thing I'm going to do is now do story times. So, let's begin, shall we? So, I'm a big fan of the paranormal. I've loved creepypastas, ghosts, stories, and all the things that come with paranormal. I go on YouTube every so often, and when I'm bored, watch random things of ghosts and paranormal stuff that people have actually caught that are actually considered real. Though it's not hard to fake one of those nowadays, but it was even harder a while back when YouTube first started. I'm sure there are probably a few posts of ghostly encounters that people have actually had that were real. Now, nowadays people are really skeptical about this stuff. Well, older people. Us young folk love this stuff, paranormal things from a lot of us watch Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters, which, by the way, if you ever want to watch actual paranormal stuff, watch Ghost Adventures. Ghost Hunters has too many people in their group, they could easily fake something. Anyways. Now, I didn't have that much paranormal things attached to my life. I've had friends that tell me all these stories about how they've seen or heard things. I've only seen or heard one thing or another. That's it. I've had friends that go up to the Stanley Hotel, the infamous Shining Hotel that Stephen King wrote about, and they stayed there before. They've encountered stuff like shadows, voices. I've heard voices and had weird things happen to me. Now, they're just really small things. Now, it's not big. It's not like going to the Waverly Hills Sanatorium and seeing your doppelganger. That's not what I've seen. No. Trust me, if I've ever wanted to go to some place haunted, I would. I don't have any money to go from state to state, country to country, continent to continent, trying to find haunted places. Now, yeah, it's another dream of mine to do my own online internet show like this. Now, I remember Cartoon Network had actual things like that way back when, and ever since, reality TV on Cartoon Network just died. It just died. Because everybody hated that stuff on Cartoon Network and wanted it more back onto Discovery and History. Now, this happens to be those a very few times. Now, there are two times I remember distinctively. One would have to be in my room. I was in my room with a friend, and we were just sitting here playing. I think the original Xbox was good back then, and we were playing Halo and messing around. Now, Me and my friend were just sitting there. I was watching him play because he was playing through campaign. Next thing I know, I see him bend. I see him like lean back in the chair and look directly out my door. Now I've never felt or seen anything in my house. This is the only thing that I've been told that anybody has seen in my house. Besides, well, I'll tell that one later. Me and my friend were just sitting here, and like I said, he bent back and looked out my door. I'm like, I asked him what's going on. I thought I saw Andrew out there. Andrew being my next door neighbor, who is also my friend. He barely ever came over to my house when I started middle school. It's been once or twice since he has. The most common part's been like right after high school. We had parties every so often, where we just had a barbecue with family and friends and all that. But anyways, and I could have sworn I felt a presence behind me before. At that point, though I was imagining it. I thought I was imagining it, so I just shrugged it off. I have an active imagination. I mean, sure, a lot of the things I've actually witnessed, I can just chalk up to that. Or the house creaking, or wind in my house. Now the occasional shadow, yeah, I probably shrug it off. Think, I'm around my electronics, so electronics can fuck with us. But back then I had this really shitty TV. And then it's the Xbox, and that's all. That's all that was in my room. Nothing else was electronic. We were just sitting here, and next thing you know, that happens. Now, it's not that big, not that huge, but, it's something. Second thing in my life that I've ever had an experience with. My street used to be filled with people running up and down, playing basketball or any of that on their fucking driveway. And I'm sitting there, it's just me on this one day. It's just me. Like, it all stopped once me and everybody else grew up. It's just me walking up from my friend's house. My ex-friend now, because he is a thief. I was coming back from his house after a night of, staying the night at his house and just having fun. Now, I was walking up the street. I didn't hear anybody playing, didn't hear a ball bounce, didn't hear anything. The wind was howling through the trees and all that. And next thing I know, I hear the sound of laughter. Like, it was around me. And a fucking Spalding basketball bounces down the street and starts rolling right next to me. And I look up the street. There's nobody coming down after it. There's a daycare up at the top of my street, and they'd send the kids down there and go get it, or anybody who's watching would probably go get it. But this time, there's nobody on the street. I walked up and down the street and saw no one. Heard nothing. Everyone was in their house and relaxing. Or at work. Now, I just shrugged it off. I shrug all this stuff off. I believe in paranormal and I love it, but I shrugged this off because I thought, no one's gonna believe me. Why would they? My parents thought I was afraid of my own shadow. They still do. But I'm not. I do jump at a lot of things, but it's only when things end up getting really freaky. Third encounter of my life. Now, I didn't witness this, but I could tell by the way my friend was freaking the fuck out that this was the truth. My friend is a stoner. And I've always told him, do not smoke weed before coming to my house. Do not get high before coming to my house. or else you'll be out on your ass. This day, we were just chilling here at my house. And he decides to pull a prank on me and goes and hides somewhere in my house. Lo and behold, I didn't look into my garage. He was in my garage in pitch blackness, texting his friends, and all that. I opened the door. I was like, he wouldn't leave the light off while in there. It's pitch fucking black. I opened the door, no light on, closed the door, and he'd hide the phone on his leg. There's not much electronics in my garage, besides the garage door opener, which, trust me, unless it's active, it shouldn't really have that much electricity flowing through it. Neither would the lights. His phone? No. It was a really shitty phone. So I give up after 10 more minutes of searching my entire fucking house top to bottom for him. Come downstairs, sit down, get back on my games. I hear the garage door open, slam shut, and he comes rushing downstairs. And he's freaking the fuck out. He's like, dude, oh my god, holy shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He looks at me and said, dude, I just witnessed the most fucking frightening thing in your house. I asked, okay, what is it? He goes, I was sitting there in the garage waiting for you to find me. I was texting people and keeping my phone away from me and putting it down so you didn't see me. And next thing you know, I hear footsteps behind me. And I'm like, footsteps? Me and you are the only people in this house. And then knocking on the table. I have a glass table that is normally fit for canopies outside. I heard knocking on the table and then shuffling on it. And then, now, before I get to this next part, I would like to say we do have a fucking heavy fucking freezer out in the garage, and its door is hard to pull open. It's really fucking hard. It literally takes your strength to pull it open. Not that much strength, but strength enough. It can't just open up by itself. And that's exactly what happened. He told me that I just saw the fucking freezer door, that heavy fucking door, open by itself. And shut. It did it twice. Now, I've never decided to go and record anything in the dark in the fucking garage. I wanted to. Trust me, I really wanted to. And I would have. But you see, I don't have the right equipment to record that shit. Now, I thought it was pretty laughable that this happened. And my friend was obviously high, I thought. And then I looked at his eyes. It's not bloodshot. Nothing. I mean, if he was smoking or taking a pill or something, it would have taken a while to get him going. But he seemed generally concerned. And that concerned me. Anyways, everybody, that was my first ever story about my life, besides the whole shit and shebang going on with my real life story and all that shit. And I'm saying all that shit because I'm really tired of explaining that shit. I explain it to a lot of my friends who end up being true friends, so they understand me. And I thank you all for watching. If you liked the video and my stories, why not leave a like and add it to your favorites? Subscribe and join the herd today. And as always, leave suggestions and amazing comments, as well as questions you have about anything I have ever witnessed or anything you want me to talk about that I probably have done in the comment section below. And remember, everybody, sorry. Remember, everybody, keep calm and watch out for specters. See you in the next video.